Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Thursday, August 23rd, 2018. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm... God, no.
Oh, God. Oh, God, no.
I usually highlight my name, and it got rid of it.
Nathan.
What was it? Malcolm Tent.
My co-host is unable to remember his name day
My
in
name
and
is
day
Malcolm
out.
Malcolm Tent.
Malcolm Tent. Well,
Yeah.
as I said,
highlighted it, and then it unhighlighted it, because I usually highlight my my name that I'm using.
he is unable to remember his name unless very specific parameters have been made, as such, highlighting it.
Yep.
Anyway.
I mean, there's so many fucking names on here, it's understandable.
Man, the multiple personality disorder that you must suffer from must be intense.
I don't know what you're talking about. They all live their own personal lives. It's not a thing that I suffer. We all live peacefully.
So now my question is, since you have a different name every single time we start the show,
Yep.
Does that mean that the personality only exists for one day? So every single day it's a new personality and the old one is just kind of gone forever?
Technically, they're all pretty much the same fucking personality because I can't act. Second of all, they last even less than a day because more or less they only last for about an hour or so.
30 minutes to an hour, depending. Mm-hmm. So now
I mean, I guess I could try and pretend to be a dude named Malcolm Tent. My name is Malcolm Tent. I have a PhD in astrobiology.
So now my question is, presuming we'll go with the scenario that they last the whole time, the full day. You are today Malcolm Tent.
With the PhD in astrobiology.
So on days like today, Thursday, where we don't have another episode until Monday, does Malcolm get to survive all the way until Monday, or do you just exist in
actually,
limbo?
No. Here, I've actually one of my I'm sorry, I'm not good at public speaking. One of my thesi was on what happens to us after the episode ends, and I've come to the conclusion as an astrobiologist that I will be stuck in the void forever. Because I landed on the Thursday. Normally, if I land on a normal day, I die and I cease to exist. But because I'm on Thursday and there's that gap period, my metaphysical body and everything like that will be sucked into the void, and that is where I will spend the rest of eternity as Malcolm Tent, the astrobiologist.
Interesting. All right. So
not really. I did not get very many good likes on my my thesis, but I will have you know that I did not fail the class. I passed with a C+.
Well, that's why you shouldn't power your blog with WordSpace or whatever, WordPress.
Oh, damn! You caught me there. I figured WordPress was the best idea, especially if I link it to my Gaia Online page.
So now, my last question is, Dr. Tent.
Yes.
If you will be forever locked in a void, that means every other individual before you that came on a Thursday will also be forever locked in that void.
Yes, it won't be lonely.
So, now what happens when the physical body that you are embodying right now passes on? Will you be released from the void?
Oh, fuck no.
No?
I said I'm stuck in that void until all of existence.
What happens when this physical existence is over?
When everything ends,
yes.
Then we have a small siesta and we all restart.
Awesome.
I thought you guys knew about this.
No. Had zero idea.
Oh. Well, shit. Don't have a jihad over it or something.
Well, you are an anonymous penguin today, so enjoy that.
Oh, my God.
So, anyway, back
now
on track.
I'm having multiple personality disorder.
Oh, God, what do I do?
I'm Malcolm Tent, the anonymous penguin, astrobiologist. All right. I lied. I never fully got my degree. I'm not actually a PhD.
But you are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's unavoidable.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, you can't, yeah.
No, there's just no way around that one. Okay, so...
Which is funny because I got in on tuition as well as my parents' dime, and they are rich, like super rich, and I'm still dirt poor. That really tells you something about the American college experience.
Well, I mean, with 157% annual interest rate.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking difficult.
Compounding, so, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it exists.
It exists.
It's real rough, I'll tell you that.
Anyone, if you would like to support this show, as whenever we do get around to actually having what the show normally is, if you would consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some merchandise in the link below, we would definitely appreciate it. We are currently using the wonderful funding from our patrons to finish paying off Nathan's new computer so that we no longer have the infinite tech difficulties that we have had over the last couple of years. Because, God, although now that we finally have all of our hardware replaced, Skype's just like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, Skype's a dick.
Skype's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, if you have any feedback for the show, if you'd like us to talk about something, whether it's a news article, a video game, an anime, a random topic from the past, or something a little more sensitive, regardless of whether it's yesterday, a week ago, month, year, or 10 years or 100 years ago, send that to us anywhere that we can be found. Places such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, all of which are at iReaditCast. Now, Mr. Tent, beyond the unfortunate failure of your thesis, how are you today?
Well, I tried to enter that thesis into another contest today, and they told me, good luck, because I'll need it. And I think that was really nice of them to wish me good luck, because I'll tell you what, I need it.
I mean, not after a few more hours pass, you won't.
Well, that is true. I guess after that, I just drift off into the void, and my work no longer matters. Well, that's not true. If I can somehow get some form of compensation for my work, my wife and child will be not well off, but at least a little better, seeing as how I will soon pass.
Shall we actually talk about news, buddy?
I mean, is my passing not news?
No. Not since we already know it's going to come to pass.
All right, let's go.
That was kind of a bad pun. I feel bad about myself.
5.
Major prison strike spreads across the United States and Canada as inmates refuse food.
This was submitted by New Nemo to Our World News.
Mr. Tent, do you believe that we need prison reform in America and Canada?
Oh, absolutely, because prison reform is very bad.
Wait, hang on. Prison reform is bad?
Yes, it is bad, but that's why we need it.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I will tell you that socialism ruins America as well as a bunch of other things, and those are the things that we need right now.
You know,
because we really need to.
At this point, I'm pretty glad you're going to be
much with
drifting
the
off
same
the
way
void.
that Rome has occurred. We need to destroy America to the base floor and just start again.
I see nothing wrong with this plan.
So what better way than socialism?
In any case, this is all coming as a result of the wildfires that are taking place in Canada, California, Washington. And one of the things that is happening is that there are programs that exist for prisons to use prisoners for work. And one of the things that they've been using prisoners for is to help fight these fires. Now, you've probably heard many times like, oh, all your license plates are made by prisoners. The thing is that the 13th Amendment that protects people from slavery does not protect people from slavery if it is work, hard labor, manual labor that as part as serving the punishment for a crime. So what they're able to do is they're able to use prisoners, pay them anywhere between 50 cents to $1.50 an hour, and have them do whatever job, whether that is risking their lives fighting fires or making your license plate or whatever else you've heard prisoners doing. Well, this is literally slavery on so many levels, and prisoners have had enough of it, and they are going on hunger strikes, which is bad for the prisons because they are responsible for the prisoners' well-being and health and care. But between the slavery and for-profit prisons that exist in these countries, which when you have a prison that is for-profit, it is now incentivized to not only result in a high rate of recidivism, but also incentivized to keep you there as long as possible so they get and make more money. And the prisoners are done with that.
I can understand. It's some bullshit, and this is probably going to be the topic of my next thesis for astrobiology. No wonder I haven't gotten my degree. This is such a good topic for astrobiology.
I really do hope that this goes somewhere, though. Like, I really hope that this doesn't just get swept under the rug and dies out, because...
Or have a bunch of, prisoners die out.
Yeah, exactly. Because it really is a massive problem. You and I have talked about it several times in the past, about just how the entire prison system in America is designed against the prisoner.
Yeah, it's really rough. It's hard to reform in prison. It's hard to get out and be productive.
Well, when you make it hard to get out, you don't give them the tools they need to be better people. And they're like, well, the labor prepares them for life in the civilian world. And it's like...
No, it really doesn't.
I mean, anyone can do most of the jobs you're asking them to do. You're just giving them a job that you're not paying them for.
Yeah, you're kind of being a giant dick.
You're just taking advantage of a loophole that exists, and that loophole needs to be closed. Like, I don't have a problem if they want to give prisoners jobs, but they need to pay them for those jobs. I don't care if it's minimum wage. I'm sure most of the prisoners would be like, sick, I get to make some money and have some money potentially when I get out. Awesome. But we also need to compound that with having just a better prison system overall. Because, like I said, I think it's like 25% of all federal prisoners are in for-profit prisons, which literally their entire business model revolves around keeping the prisons full. A prison system should be designed to put itself out of business.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get free labor, almost free labor, why wouldn't you if you're in a capitalistic society?
Even if you're not in a capitalistic society,
yeah, that's true.
There are bad actors everywhere who are going to do anything they can to find every single advantage they can get to maximize whatever it is that they want.
Which is dumb, because you definitely don't need that much money a lot of the time.
No, you absolutely do not.
But in very rare cases.
There is literally zero reason for anyone in the world to be a billionaire. There's no reason to be a billionaire. It is literally funny money.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think it'd be all right if I was a billionaire.
Oh, I mean, it would be all right. My point is, though, is that it's such a incredible amount of money. It takes a lot to even fathom what $1 million is for a lot of people. If you're not talking about $1 million home, you can look at a home that's on the market for $1 million, and you're like, oh, that's what $1 million looks like. It's not quite the same as what an actual $1 million look like.
No.
But
I mean, a gross amount is different than when you actually have money.
Right. It's incredible how much $1 billion actually is, and how disgustingly unnecessary it is.
Ridiculously large amounts.
And if you were a billionaire like Bill Gates, or even Warren Buffett, because both of them are doing a lot of stuff with all of their money, and they've also said that, I'm doing everything I can with my money right now. Once my money is gone, give all of it to people that need it. It's good on you. But then we got people like Jeff Bezos who are just oh, yeah, I love my money. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. I mean, sure, he's bringing us more Lord of the Rings, but realistically, it's to line his own pockets.
Oh, my God. I need more billions of dollars, so let's pay my workers less and not let them take bathroom breaks.
My sister used to work for Amazon. She said it was one of the worst experiences she's experience.
I have never heard anyone speak positively of working for Amazon, which is depressing, because
I don't think a positive experience working for Amazon exists unless you are Jeff Bezos.
I guess, or someone closer to where he is at.
Closer to the top there?
Yeah. Whereas I've heard nothing but good reviews for working for other massive companies like Google and Facebook.
Even though they're still kind of secretly evil.
They're still secretly evil in a lot of ways, and they have their own problems, but they don't treat their employees like dirt shit ass.
That's true. They definitely at least treat them like people.
Yeah. Which really is as far, I don't even care if Jeff Bezos has $150 billion or whatever it is. The reason that it bothers me is because the thousands and tens of thousands of people that help him get that billions of dollars are on food stamps and welfare and are being treated like garbage and are underpaid and can't afford rent. When you make that much money, there should be no reason that you cannot pay your bottom line employee enough to eat.
Yeah, then you are actively being the asshole because trickle-down economics does not exist.
Well, it can function, but not when every time you get more, you just make your glass bigger.
Right. Yeah, like if you are actively being the asshole.
Yeah.
4.
Steven Tyler demands Trump stop playing Aerosmith at rallies.
Fat luck at doing that. Oh, excuse me. This was submitted by The Ocelot Babao to our music.
We had actually talked about this back in 2016 when Trump was on the campaign trail to get elected, and he had been playing Aerosmith at his rallies, and Steven Tyler was like, yo, I didn't give you permission for that. Get the fuck out of here. Stop playing my music. I don't like you. I don't endorse you. I don't want people thinking that I do endorse you. Keep my music out of your rallies. And they did for a minute, but now he's back out rallying because Mr. Trump is not very interested in doing presidential things. He likes standing in front of a bunch of people talking and then getting a round of applause because that's what he's after. He's after fame and fortune. He doesn't actually care about the job that much. He just enjoys the spectacle of it. But beyond that, he is still continuing to play Aerosmith at his events. He just recently used Dream On, and Steven Tyler wasn't excited. He has now commenced legal action. He has filed a cease and desist against the Trump campaign and is prepared to sue them if they do not comply.
I'm just saying, that's a great song.
It is a great song, and it makes me wonder under what context they're using it.
Well, I mean, you probably can guess that it's the wrong context.
I know, but part of me is like, yeah, dream on about getting reelected, but then there's the part of me that's like, oh, God, enough people voted for him the first time. Oh, God.
Yeah, if we seriously don't get more people out to vote, this is going to happen again. Just with somebody different, because this guy's probably going to get impeached.
I mean, we'll see what happens after...
There's some pretty serious talks going around today.
Well, after the Cohen and Manafort stuff, and depending on where that leads... I mean,
it's pretty fucking.
And now he's fighting with his own attorney general.
There is no collusion.
Well, he's now actively at odds against his own attorney general, Jeff Sessions.
Yeah. There's that whole exchange this morning today too.
Yeah, that's
he's like,
fun.
if I knew he was going to recuse himself, I would never have elected him attorney general in the first place.
Yeah, which I mean. Yeah, and he also has stated that Jeff Sessions has no control and has not taken control over the Department of Justice when Jeff Sessions has.
He definitely has. He just recused himself from this fucking case.
Well, and he has to. Like, he is in the position where literally everyone involved with that case, he's like, I legitimately know this person. I spoke to this person personally on the campaign trail. I cannot be involved with this investigation because there is no way that I can appear in it without coming from what would at least appear as a biased stance.
Yeah, like you can't.
Like that happens at every level of government and investigation. Like it's like I've had dinner with this guy before. I can't be part of this investigation.
Oh, so Robert in the chat says, "Who would have thunk that Hunky Sessions would become a liberal hero?" Eh? No. Don't get us wrong. He's not a hero. Jeff Sessions is still a giant, like shitbag, giant awful individual. But I mean, at least he has some form of moral in some fashion, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not that suddenly. Oh, well, at least I can't speak for the liberals across the country anyway, because
that's fair.
Because
who
least
knows
here, where they're
we understand that guy's still a shitty individual.
Yeah, he's still a garbage sack. Okay, he's still an awful person.
Yeah.
The only thing is that he's also been historically extremely loyal to Trump. And he still is in a lot of ways. But Trump is like, I can't believe it. He's not shutting down the investigation. He just recused himself. And Sessions was like, you literally have no idea how this works, do you? I had to. Otherwise,
this is important.
Nothing would have ever been able to be done if I was part of it. Because otherwise, everything would just have this continued air of corruption.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my fault that you appointed me without knowing that I would have to recuse myself.
Yeah, I mean... That being said, he doesn't know a lot of things.
I wish he did.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me...
I do too.
Like, I stated this back when Trump got elected. While I do not like him, And while I have so many negative statements and opinions of him, I sincerely wish that he was better and that he knew more, because as much as people were like, not my president 2016, I'm like, no, that is the goddamn president of the United States of America. As much as I don't like it, that is still right now the face of America, and it is causing so many problems with our allies, and I wish he was better.
You better deport my ass, because now I'm a fucking pirate.
Yahar.
I'm not aligning myself.
All right. Anyway, less political news for a moment. Anyway,
for a split second.
Bones of ancient teenage girl reveal a Neanderthal mother and
Denisovan.
Thank you, Denisovan father, providing genetic proof ancient hominins made it across species.
This is submitted by Evan2895 to Our Science. I like this shit.
You like seeing
archaeology and shit like that, you know?
You like seeing that the ancient humans,
ancient bones of those that have passed,
bred across species, getting freaky with the enemy.
I mean, not really getting freaky with the enemy, more like fucking anything that moves. Just like most people nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally no different than
humans like,
today.
Why can't these people who are different species fuck when we lick buttholes? Like,
yeah, but you better not fucking double dip in my queso, damn it.
Yo, I won't double dip, but, you know, still be licking that butthole.
People still be licking their buttholes.
You gotta eat the ass like it's groceries, all right? You gotta eat the ass like it was that chip.
I don't like that comparison. Anyway, so they have... By the way, they got all of this information from literally like a bone chip the size of like my hand. It's literally just a little piece of their leg that is still
fragment
existing. All of the rest of it is gone. But they did find this single small bone fragment of who is now being called Denisova 11. And
who was at least 13 years old. You can tell by cutting open the femur and counting the rings.
I don't think that's quite how it works. But
what are you talking about? That's how you do it with everything. That's how you figure out the age of anything. You cut them open and you count the rings.
Exactly, right. I apologize. I forgot about that from science class.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. Most people do.
But with this one bone fragment, they're able to reveal thousands of years of what happened back then. And basically what they found is that by just breaking down their DNA, they found that it's from two separate species of hominins of old. So two different... They weren't... It's not the same as like a white person and a black person. Like these two species, while ancient prehistoric humans, they were pretty different genetically. Like, they looked different in terms of, like, their actual structure and biology. But it also showed that that wasn't a boundary for them all of those millions of years ago, and that it was still able to happen, essentially.
It's pretty fucking cool that, you know, at some point there was, you know, crossbreeding between species.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, it's almost as if people nowadays were fucking orangutans.
Did Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom ever actually come out?
What?
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. A lot of people were like, it's got sequelitis.
Okay, yeah, I see that just from the reviews. I was like, man, I feel like that came out with a whimper.
Sequelitis, dude. It hits everybody hard.
Yeah, there was a lot of advertising for it, and then I don't remember it coming out, and it's only got a 51% on most sites. So yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Ukulele in the chat room asks, were they separate species then? By definition, if they were able to create a fertile hybrid, yes, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just because like we get donkeys and mules doesn't mean that they can't happen.
Sam in the chat room says the best part of this is Michael talking with his hands. Don't you judge me.
Yeah, you are very boisterous with your hands.
I'm very animated. Anyway, so all right, back to political stuff. Woo!
2.
19-year-old film student in Russia facing 5 years in prisons for memes mocking religion.
This is submitted by Jim Murphy, SF, to our World News.
So Russia is just kind of taking a real broad brush and just sloshing the paint all over the place when it comes to their anti-extremism laws. And they're using that to really just shut down and imprison anyone they want. Like, it's like, you said this one thing that's not quite politically correct. You're an extremist. Go to jail.
Except their politically correct is different than our politically correct.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, this is the story of, wow, am I going to get his first name wrong? Daniil? D-A-N-I-I-L?
Let me click this open and find out.
Daniil. Danila. Daniil.
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 Daniil. Daniel. I'm going to go with Daniel. Because I feel like that's just the Russian version of Daniel.
It really is.
Daniel Markin, who is a film student from Barnaul, he had shared an album, essentially, on social media. And
Yeah, which platform?
Go for it, buddy.
No, I want to hear you.
Fuck you. On the social media platform VK.
Oh, come on.
The Kontake?
Kontake? What is this, Japanese food?
Fuck,
no,
dude, I don't know.
It is Vkontaktia.
What? You added syllables.
Of Kontake.
That's what I said.
Yeah, Kontake.
Thanks.
No. You said something completely different.
No, I said Kontake.
I think they spelled that wrong because I thought it was Vkontaktia.
V Kentucky. Got it.
Vkontaktia. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be yeah at the end and not an eh.
In any case, in this album
because
of
it's the Russian word contact, but you throw the v in front of it because of grammar.
In this album that he shared, there were memes that were mocking Christianity.
Yeah, it's Vkontakte. There's a TE at the end.
What?
They screwed that up.
I'm sorry.
They set me up.
Yep, they set you up for failure. Lied to you.
You bastards.
Anyway, in this album that they shared,
like if you go to it, it legitimately just looks like Facebook.
That's cool, I guess.
You can sign up for it with Facebook.
Vkontakte. Yeah, except I can't read anything on this page. It's all in Russian. But it
VK.com.
But it does definitely look like Facebook. Anyway, so they had memes in this album that were mocking Christianity. And, well, the Russian authorities decided that was extremism. And they went and arrested him, and he is facing 5 years in prison for essentially posting some dank Christian memes.
Yo, dank Christian memes are the best. That subreddit's getting real popular, which is real important because our atheism sucks ass because they're all a bunch of edgy fucking assholes.
So edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are super edgy, and they just reshare the same exact shit.
Contact you. Yeah. Contact you.
So, I apologize if anyone is in Russia. I mean, of course, that said, we might be censored in Russia, so you're not able to hear us, and I recommend not going there right now, because things are not going
You think
great.
we're censored in Russia? Fat chance. No one in Russia knows about us yet.
That's true, but if they did, we would probably be censored there.
Yo, his satirical mugshot's great. Hazard level, 9 Pokemons out of 10. That's great.
It is. It's fantastic. I shared it on Instagram. Yeah, anyway.
1.
California lawmakers pass bill to erase old pot convictions.
This is submitted by Not Safe for Work Login 1 to our news.
That's a legit username right there.
Yo, I wonder what you made that for.
For following all the Not Safe for Work subreddits.
Yeah, right?
So, the legalization in California was actually passed in 2016 to allow the adult use of recreational marijuana, and at the time they also eliminated several pot-related crimes. However, they are now passing another bill in regards to working on eliminating previous pot-related convictions. This is something we talked about before, but real quick we're going to get into the details of what this bill does. So the bill outlines that they need to review around 220,000 cases, 220,000 cases that are possibly eligible for erasure or reduction. They have until next year, July 1st, 2019, to compile this list of eligible cases, and then they have 1 year after that, July 1st of 2020, to get the list to the Department of Justice of these are the cases that need to be taken care of, this is what should happen to them, whether it's a reduction in sentencing or a scrubbing of the record.
That's kind of cool that they're doing it, though. Something that I wanted to see since, they started making that shit legal.
Well, and there's two sides to this conversation. It should never have been illegal in the first place. It was all propagated by the pharmaceutical companies that wanted marijuana to be illegal back in the early 90s.
In addition to other things.
In addition to other things. This is ridiculous. This is just, us finally getting over a bad stage where someone had took advantage of America and their records should be cleared, especially since more and more it is not being recognized as a harmful or illegal substance. And the other side is you broke the law when it was against the law and you knew it was against the law, so you need to serve your punishment for when you knew it was against the law.
Well, you see, I fall more under the alignment of chaotic than lawful. And I feel like it was bullshit when it was legal, so should just reduce it now that it is, or when it was illegal, so we should reduce it now that it is legal.
Where I would see a middle ground on this, because they're discussing erasure or reduction, because I do find that the vast majority of marijuana-related convictions result in a sentence that is far harsher than it should be. Like, there is no reason, in my opinion, that someone like Cohen or Manafort, with all of the felony, illegal, tax-dodging, white-collar bullshit that they did, are only going to go to jail for like 5 years, yet someone can be caught with an ounce of weed on them and they will go to jail for 20.
Right.
Like,
there's no balance.
No, the balance is atrocious and ridiculous. And so instead what I would like to see is not I still feel like they should have, like, it's necessarily like a mark against them of you did this even though you knew it was against the law, but if they have something that is holding them back, or if they're still incarcerated, then that should be reduced, waived, etc. Like, still keep a mark on their record, essentially, of this dude broke the law doing something when he knew it was against the law, even though it is illegal now. Literally just kind of like a footnote in their record somewhere of they did bad when they knew it was bad. But otherwise, if they have a fine, then their fine should go away. If they're in jail or incarcerated or anything like that, then that needs to go away, because the sheer amount of jail time that people have served for cannabis-related crimes is...
And we all know that jail time is essentially just slavery for people smoking weed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous and completely out of proportion. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's baffling and makes no sense.
Right. So that's where I stand on it. I am happy that they're doing this, although I don't think that it should be completely erased, but I don't believe that anyone who is currently incarcerated or potentially going to be should have to be so, because they've already served probably a bunch of fucking time as is. And also, like, just the entirety surrounding the amount of jail time that fits into this subject is stupid.
Yeah. And I agree with Robert here. It was once unlawful to marry between races. Clear test against the idea of persistent sentences.
Sure.
It's pretty good point there.
Indeed. Hey, Nathan.
Yep.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
What did you care about in the last 24 hours?
There's a movie poster for Holmes and Watson with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. That makes me way more excited for this fucking movie because it looks goddamn hilarious. Well, that being said, I'm a sucker for Will Ferrell, and John C. Reilly is always icing on the goddamn cake.
See, I have never... there's a couple of Will Ferrell movies that I enjoyed, but most of the time I find his comedy very off-putting.
Will Ferrell's so good, so funny.
I mean, it's kind of like Adam Sandler. Like, he has a couple really good, really funny movies, and then a couple other times you're like, man, you're just trying way too hard, and this just
I guess
sucks.
he is kind of like hit and miss, but I feel like for Will Ferrell, for the most part, he's way more hit than he is miss. With Adam Sandler, he became way more fucking miss. After 50 First Dates, it was just all downhill.
I don't think I've seen, like, any of his movies since 50 First Dates.
You're not missing much, dude. You really aren't.
Well, then I won't be sad about it.
Spanglish was all right. That might have been after 50 First Dates.
I don't know. I didn't see it, so.
And I'll have you know, 50 First Dates was not driven on his back. That's for certain.
That's true. It also wasn't a movie that was purely a Adam Sandler movie where it's nothing but Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler trying to get
right. It wasn't a Billy Madison or a Happy Gilmore or a Mr.
Big
Deeds.
Daddy or a Big Daddy either.
Yeah, or a Big Daddy. Yeah. They're all so fucking. They're written so goddamn similar. He has a very distinct writing style.
But all those movies are very funny because
bulletproof even.
They went the proper way where there's lots of miss in there as well.
It's like as he got older, he became not as good. It's like Stephen King once he stopped doing cocaine.
Yeah. Anyway. Thing I cared about in the last 24 hours is that the creators of the Nintendo 64 game 007 GoldenEye have officially ruled that Oddjob is cheating.
Yo! This was submitted by Etanla to R, not the Onion. It's true. It's absolutely true. Well, 100% accurate.
There's a couple other things they talked about in here. One, the multiplayer for 007 GoldenEye almost didn't happen.
Why's that?
Well, all of the other first-person shooters at the time were all single-player, so it was already expected that GoldenEye 007 would follow that same route, especially since it was just a movie tie-in game. It wasn't like a standalone shooter. And
then it became one of the best fucking games on the N64.
And so they just decided to toy with it about halfway through production, and they started building it without even telling their publisher, which was Nintendo. They're just like, What happens if we make this multiplayer mode? And then they decided to go forward with it. But the other thing that they brought up is that it's definitely cheating to play as Oddjob. And they knew that when they made him and put him in the game. But they intended for people to essentially decide their own rules and say that Oddjob is cheating, and for you to be like, no, you can't play fucking Oddjob, tool.
Yo, it's either everyone plays Oddjob or no one plays Oddjob.
That are your only choices.
Like, you can't have both. It's not possible.
And that game is freaking amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But, so, yeah, I found that very cool. Very cool indeed.
No, absolutely. That's fucking sick. It's good that they, announced the truth.
Is there anything else you want to talk about there? Mr. Tent?
I had 2 ideas for like, comic books today.
Yeah? So real quick, actually, since we still have a couple people still actually in the live chat room that I don't believe have checked out the show before, I'm going to quickly state, if you do want to catch the show live anyway, Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Alaska time, so 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, if you're trying to do the math on that. If you have anything you want us to talk about, go ahead and send it to us, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are at iRedditCast. We'd be happy to have you. Thank you for listening to us today. We're going to keep bullshitting, and then we're going to do our closeout stuff. But thank you for the people that checked out the show today because I shared it on my page. I appreciate you guys for giving us a chance and checking it out. All right, so let me hear these comic book ideas.
So the first one is for a really, really shitty shonen manga, right?
Yes.
And it's called Zomboy. It's about a kid that dies, and he gets to come back to Earth as a zombie, and the zombie has to protect a city from a bunch of evil spirits that try to take over the city, but nobody knows, and nobody can see the spirits. Whenever the spirits interact with people, they are incorporeal, but when they interact with the zombies, they are very much corporeal. So one day the kid's being really shitty at his job, and it actually gets into the city, and he has to fight it in the city. And so all of the news reporters report that this fucking guy was flying in the air, and there's explosions in buildings around because they can't see the monster itself.
Okay.
So the military gets involved, and they capture him, and they figure out how to make zombies. And then they start producing zombies so that they can go and capture these spirits and weaponize them, and then he has to stop it.
All right. And what's the other idea?
The other idea is about a very strong female lead. It is a female detective who's not a very decorated detective, even though she should be. People keep stealing her thunder. But she solves crimes because she can hear people's thoughts. And in addition, if she touches an object with her bare fingers, she can hear the last, minute of somebody's thoughts who was holding that object.
Cool.
So she ends up touching evidence to figure out what was going on in the person's head, and then from there kind of solves crime that way. But as somebody every time steals their thunder. And I came up with this idea because I was sitting there like, man, women are always creeped out by dudes because dudes are fucking creepy as shit. So I want to make a comic that really exemplifies that by having this woman go around and is able to read dudes' thoughts or hear dudes' thoughts and hear all the crazy, disgusting shit that goes through dudes' heads.
Sure.
But I also wanted a very strong lead.
So now you have to either find you either need to learn how to draw or find someone that knows how to draw to make this happen.
I got a couple of people I'm trying to talk to.
I wish you luck. People are unreliable and suck.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Shall we get out of here?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. If you'd please consider supporting the show, go to patreon.com/dailyinternet. Pick up some merchandise in the link below. You can also follow and share us on the platforms I mentioned earlier, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, all of which are at iReaditCast. You can also leave us 5-star reviews and listen to us on our audio-only platforms, such as iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, and pretty much anywhere else podcasts are found. All of those help people find the show and get us more listeners and more people to support us, and that we appreciate immensely. Otherwise, if you want to check out what we're doing, I'm on social media at Schwahn Michael. Nathan is at Bimmenstein. And that's it, everybody. That's your 508th dose.
Yo, if you want to play Monster Hunter with us, just hit us up on Steam.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Nathan have been playing Monster Hunter, and we intend to continue to do so.
We're very low rank at the moment.
In fact,
hit us up.
Right
like
after
if you want to search up my name on it, I'm Mojo Cujo.
And right after this, Nathan's going to get food, and then we're going to play Monster Hunter. So
yeah.
Anyway, beyond all of that, that is your 508th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Malcolm Tent.
And please remember, everybody.
Remember, I have a astrobiological almost degree. I'm working on it.
Working on it all the way up for about 5 more minutes before you disappear into the void for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just work on it in the void. So, good luck.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Goodbye.
Bye.